That's why they went to the euro.
Yeah,
So they can
exactly.
use the money, no matter where they are.
Which means there potentially going to be about 960 million people that could travel up to the States. And you could be sure there'll be very few people traveling down south. It's not, she wants, that's it, one currency, one open border, no borders, a global economy, a global world.
It's a good thing I saved. Good thing I saved my money with Jefferson Davis's picture on it. Yeah,
it's not going to work. And what she told those speeches she didn't want to release, when she spoke to the Wall Street.
Yeah.
What did she say? She said
She said if you have a problem with if somebody's spelling out exactly what the laws are, you go to the people who make the laws, and that's Wall Street. Wall Street makes all those laws,
No, what she said was there is insider talk and the talk to the public. He goes, I'll tell the public one thing, but I'm going to tell you guys, Wall Street runs Wall Street, and you're the only ones that can rule yourself or control yourself. When she talks to the people on the outside, she says, we're going to stomp Wall Street. We're going to control them. Complete opposite. When she gets $300 million from Wall Street, she tells them a lot of nice things. When she goes outside, she says she's going to do something to Wall Street. But how's she going to do anything to people when she owes them, when she was basically bought by them? At least Trump is not being bought by anybody. And she had some wonderful things to say about Putin. She's done deals with him. She likes him. That's private. On the outside, she hates Putin. So let's keep reading the WikiLeaks. Keep listening to your Democrats. Keep listening to the Republicans. And somewhere in the middle, you might, if you're lucky, find out what's really going on.
Yeah.
But I know one thing. There's never been as much corruption in an election. I mean, you speak to people on both sides, and they say they've never seen anything like it. It's never existed before. This is not normal for anybody. This is not a normal election, Go. Mark, the doc here is talking about that Trump is going to be a what is that word? Totalitarian. No,
that's totalitarian.
Totalitarian, yeah. But I can't pronounce certain words, can I?
Well, I mean, but the bottom line is he did say that his first act was going to be to have his, attorney general draw up charges against her.
Because she deserves them.
And they would lock her up. But
if she deserves it, they're not going to lock her up.
Got to have a trial.
Yeah, of course they're talking about trial.
But you see, in Russia and in countries like that, that's what they do. The first thing they do is they take the opposition and they throw them in jail.
They're not talking. Don't take it that literally. They're talking about having a trial.
Hey, listen.
It's just like saying.
I don't know. That's the problem. We don't know what to take literally and what not to take literally. In all honesty. That's it.
Well, in all honesty, this is the craziest election probably in history.
Well, let's be honest.
With the most
Kennedy,
most hated,
the most vile. Kennedy and Nixon was, up until that time, the closest election. Then you have the 2000 election. No, you have the 1948 election with the headline, Dewey defeats Truman, before election night was even over, and Truman defeated Dewey. And then you go all the way to 2000, when Gore was told he was president. Then he was told that he wasn't. So he called up Bush and congratulated him. Then he was told that, wait, we're having a recount. You might have won. And then it took, 4 or 5 days until they finally counted all of the ballots. And the whole election was decided on something like 500 and something votes in Florida. And that was it. Can you imagine?
And that was because of a third-party candidate from the Green Party.
Ross, I don't know if it was the Green Party, but it was Ross Perot.
No,
that was Ralph Nader. Ralph Nader.
Right, Ralph Nader. I believe it was the Green Party.
Ralph Nader, I think you're right. Yeah. I was thinking of Ross Perot.
Yeah.
Ralph Nader cost Al Gore the presidency because he would not acquiesce and he didn't pull out.
And he took about 90,000 votes.
He took away a lot of votes, and most of them were Democratic votes.
And they're saying right now that a lot of the people, the Democratic side, and some Republicans, Trump is trying to get the people so pissed off about Hillary they're just not going to go out and vote.
Well, that's what has her worried. Because I didn't watch it. I'm not a fan of Ellen's, but she went on Ellen DeGeneres today, and she said, you can't take anything for granted. Every vote is very important. And she said, I'm not just saying this to Democrats. I'm saying it to Democrats and Republicans, to the American people. This was going to be so close. Your vote is going to make a difference. You get out there and vote. Because, let's face it. Many people sit back on their laurels. If it's exceptionally cold, if it's rainy and stormy, people look for any reason not to go out and vote. What does it take?
Well, most people say my vote is not going to matter.
Right. That's exactly right. That's what they say.
The ones that don't vote, my vote's not going to matter. Sometimes they're right, sometimes they're wrong, but that's not the point. It's your obligation to go out and vote.
One day in our lifetime, the election is going to come down to one vote. And all those assholes who stayed home will say, that was me. I should have voted.
Yep. It's true. It's such a difficult world, ladies and gentlemen, and you really have such horrible candidates this time.
You know what?
The best thing to do is just stay home and protest and nobody vote. Now, one person vote.
One person will go out there and vote, and that'll be the person that decides who's going to win.
Yeah, right. Watch.
All right.
Hillary Clinton wins by one vote.
We do have
only one vote.
We do have a request for a song that the Rev has to look for. The request was for
Monster
Zachary's Monster Mash.
Oh, that's an easy one, ladies and gentlemen.
So even though we have a few weeks left until Halloween, 2 weeks actually to be exact, before we do our Friday Halloween show. But I'm sure we'll play it next week and the week after, But here we go. Who's working in the lab late one night?
I was working in the lab.
When my eyes beheld an eerie sight, how my monster from his slab began to rise, and suddenly, to my surprise,
did the mash.
He did the monster mash.
Monster mash.
It was a graveyard smash. He did the mash. It caught on in a flash. He did the mash. He did the monster mash. From my laboratory in the castle east to the master bedroom where the vampires feast, the Jews all came from their humble abode to get a jolt from my electrode.
They did the mash.
They did the monster mash.
The monster mash.
It was a graveyard smash.
They did the mash.
It caught on in a flash.
They did the mash.
They did the monster mash. The zombies were having fun. The party had just begun. The guests included Wolfman, Dracula, and his son. The scene was rocking, all were digging the sound. Igor on chains, backed by his baying hound. The coffin bangers were about to arrive with their vocal group, the Crypt Kicker Five.
They played the mash.
They played the Monster Mash.
The Monster Mash.
It was a graveyard
They
smash.
played the mash.
It caught on in a flash.
They played the mash.
They played the Monster Mash. Out from his coffin, Rex's voice did ring. Seemed he was troubled by just one thing. Opened the lid and shook his fist and said, "Whatever happened to my Transylvania twist?"
It's now the mash.
It's now the Monster Mash.
The Monster Mash.
And it's a graveyard
It's
smash.
now the mash.
It's caught on in a flash.
It's now the mash.
It's now the Monster Mash. Now everything's cool. Drax a part of the band, and my Monster Mash is the hit of the land. For you, the living, this mash was meant to. When you get to my door, tell them God is dead.
Then you can mash.
Then you can Monster Mash,
The Monster Mash.
and do my graveyard smash. You'll get on in a flash. Then you can Monster Mash.
Ladies and gentlemen, as per your request, the Monster Mash. Anybody enjoy it? Yeah, that was good. It was so good, we're going to play it again. But this time, we're going to add a little something to it.
One night, when my eyes beheld an eerie sight, for my monster from his slab began to rise, and suddenly, to my surprise,
He did the mash.
he did the
Monster Mash.
It was a graveyard smash.
He did smash.
It caught on in a flash.
He did the mash.
He did the monster mash.
Oh.
My laboratory in the castle east. The bedroom as a vampire's feast. The Jews all came from their humble abode to get a jolt from my electrode.
They did the mash.
They did the Monster Mash.
The Monster Mash.
It was a graveyard
They
smash.
did the mash.
It caught on in a
They
flash.
did the mash.
They did the Monster Mash. The
Oh.
zombies were having fun. The party had just begun. The guests included Wolfman, Dracula, and his son. The scene was rocking, all were digging the sound. Igor on chains, backed by his baying hound. The coffin bangers were about to arrive with their vocal group, the Crypt Kicker Five.
They played the mash.
They played the Monster Mash.
The Monster Mash.
It was a graveyard
What?
smash.
Mash.
It caught on in a flash.
He did the mash.
They played the
Oh!
Monster Mash. Out from his coffin, Rex's voice did ring. Seemed he was troubled by just one thing. Opened the lid and shook his fist and said, "Whatever happened to my Transylvania twist?"
It's now the mash.
Mash.
It's now the Monster
The
Mash.
mash. He did the mash.
And it's a graveyard
It's
smash.
now the mash.
It's caught on in a flash.
It's now the mash.
It's now the Monster Mash.
Oh.
Everything's cool, Drax a part of the band, and my Monster Mash is the hit of the land. For you, the living, this mash was meant to. When you
I'm
get to
on,
my door,
live.
tell them God is dead.
I am. He did Monster Mash.
And do my graveyard smash. You'll get on in a flash. Then you can Monster Mash.
Oh!
Mash wood.
Ooh!
I was just reminiscing with the Rev here. Zachary